If you have been waking up with an unexplainable weight crushing your chest, this is not a coincidence. If strange nightmares have been tormenting your sleep and turning your nights into a spiritual battleground, you were led to this moment for a reason. If sudden, unprovoked division has entered your home, turning loved ones into strangers overnight, then know that invisible opposition is targeting your peace. If every dollar that enters your hands seems to evaporate through a hidden spiritual drain, at this very hour, God is preparing your deliverance. Just as God shattered the chains of Paul and Silas in the darkest hour of the midnight prison, He is moving in your circumstances right now. Just as the walls of Jericho collapsed before the presence of the Lord, every hidden barrier set against your family falls tonight, and every spiritual attack against your life will end after this prayer. Let's not wait to bring this to God. Heavenly Father, I come to you tonight with a heart that is tired in places I don't always admit out loud, but full of faith that you are still near, still listening, still moving, even when I cannot see it. Your word tells me that when I make my home in the shelter of the Most High, I remain safe under the shadow of the Almighty. That you are my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I place my trust. I hold on to that promise tonight, Father, not as a formula but as a place to hide. Quiet every anxious thought in this room right now, and in every home watching with me, and make yourself known as the safest place any of us could ever stand. Father, your word promises that you will rescue me from hidden traps and from anything that quietly works to destroy what I've built. You cover me the way a bird shelters its young beneath its wings, and your faithfulness surrounds me like a shield I did not have to earn. Because of that, I will not be afraid of the fear that comes at night, or the danger that moves in the daylight, or the sickness that creeps through the shadows unseen. Even when trouble surrounds people all around me, I ask that it would not be able to come near where I live, where I work, or where my family lays their heads down to rest. Let it be true for me tonight, the way it was true for the ones who first prayed these words, that I would only need to look with my own eyes to see how you dealt with everything that stood against me. I believe, Father, that because I have made you my dwelling place, no real harm can come near my home, and no plague can touch what belongs to me. I ask you to command your angels to watch over me in every place I walk, to hold me up so that I don't stumble over the obstacles set quietly in my path. Let me walk over danger the way one walks over something already defeated, because you have already gone ahead of me into every situation I am facing tonight. Let this promise stand not only over me, but over my children, my spouse, and everyone under my roof, so that our home becomes a place trouble simply cannot settle into. I picture it almost like this, Father. Your angels standing quietly at every door and every window of my home tonight, at the gate of my finances, at the gate of my health, at the gate of my children's future, refusing to let anything pass through that isn't yours to allow. I don't need to see them to believe they're there. I just need to trust that when your word says you command them concerning me, it means exactly that tonight in this house, over this family. I believe that even if 1,000 troubles fall at my side and 10,000 more at my right hand, none of it will be able to reach me because I am hidden in you. Let me walk over whatever tries to rise against me the way one walks over something that has already lost its power to harm. You said that because I love you, you would rescue me, and that you would lift me up because I have known your name. So tonight, I call on you, Father, believing that you hear me, that you are with me in whatever trouble I'm facing, and that you will answer when I call. Not because I've earned it, but because you are faithful, even when I am not. Lord, I also bring my body and my mind before you tonight, because fear doesn't only attack finances and relationships. It settles quietly into a racing heart at 2 in the morning, into a tight chest before a hard conversation, into exhaustion that sleep never seems to fix. I ask you to be my healing where I've been too proud or too tired to ask before. Calm whatever anxious pattern has taken root in my body from carrying too much for too long. Where there has been sickness that lingers without explanation, I ask you according to your will to touch it. And I ask for the strength to keep believing even while I wait for the answer. Let my sleep tonight be the kind that actually restores me, not the kind I wake up from more tired than before. I have been praying for families for many years. I have seen homes where peace simply vanished without explanation, families that were doing fine, and suddenly everything started falling apart. Marriages that survived everything except the envy of someone close, children whose behavior changed overnight, money that came in and evaporated like there was an invisible drain. That is why God placed it on my heart, It was not my idea. God revealed to me in prayer after years of watching families suffer the same cycles, the 21-day spiritual shielding protocol. The exact psalms for every room in your home, the right prayer for every door, every window, every entrance, the complete daily protocol so that no gap is left open. I have seen hundreds of homes restored through this protocol. I have witnessed entire families sleeping in peace again. I remember Rebecca from Nashville, Tennessee. She was carrying an unbearable burden. Her marriage was collapsing under constant tension, and her teenage son had completely shut down and stopped speaking to the family. She joined the protocol the exact same day she watched this prayer. By day 3, an unexplainable calm settled over her home, and the nighttime heaviness vanished. By day 7, her husband initiated a heartfelt conversation of reconciliation, and the spiritual barrier in her house was completely broken. On day 8, she sent me a message saying, "For the first time in 3 years, we had dinner together in absolute peace. God completely covered our home. The same God who shielded this home wants to shield yours, but He needs your decision, not tomorrow, not next week. Now do while the atmosphere of your home is clean, while the angels are positioned, while the breach is temporarily sealed." The link is in the description and in the first pinned comment. When you step in, you are telling God, "I accept the full covering. I will not leave my home or my life unprotected. Now, Lord, I want to bring before you the things I cannot always explain. If there is any curse spoken over my life, by someone who resents me, by someone who wished me harm, by a season in my family's history I never even knew about, I ask you, according to your will and your mercy, to cancel its power over me tonight. I don't fully understand every unseen thing that may be working against me, but you do. And I trust you to expose what has been hidden in darkness and to silence every voice that has spoken against my peace, my health, my marriage, or my future. Where there has been witchcraft, manipulation, or any kind of spiritual attack aimed at slowing down what you are trying to do in my life, I ask you to break its hold completely and release me to walk forward freely. If anyone has built anything against me, whether it's an altar, a ritual, or a spoken word meant to cause harm, I ask you to reverse its effect and let it come to nothing before you. Shut every door that was open to darkness through fear, ignorance, or things I didn't even know I was inviting in. Cover my home with a peace so complete that anything sent to disturb it simply cannot find a way inside. Lord, I release every person who has spoken against me from the weight of bitterness I've carried toward them. And I ask you instead to deal with what was meant to harm me. And if it is your will, to turn it into something that ends up blessing my life instead. Silence every voice of gossip, envy, and quiet cruelty that has tried to define who I am. I was never meant to live small because someone else felt threatened by my growth. Restore what has been taken from me over the years, and let me walk in the identity you gave me, not the one fear tried to assign me. Father, I also want to name the curses that hide behind ordinary words, the curse of never having enough, the curse of working hard and somehow always falling behind, the curse of division that turns people who should love each other into strangers under the same roof, the curse of a body that never quite feels at rest, the curse of relationships that seem to repeat the same painful ending no matter who is involved. I ask you to break every one of these patterns over my life and my household. Where scarcity has felt like a family tradition passed down without anyone ever choosing it, I ask you to end it here. Where conflict has repeated itself in relationship after relationship, I ask you to expose the root of it and heal what's underneath. I don't want to just manage these patterns for another year. I want them to actually end according to your will, starting tonight. Before we continue, I want to thank everyone who supports this channel. If you haven't contributed yet and feel it in your heart to do so, the link is in the description. Every offering sustains this work. And Lord, where I have been wronged by people who never had to answer for it, I ask you as the only truly fair judge to bring whatever justice is yours to bring in your timing and in your way, not mine. I let go of the need to make things right myself. I trust that what has been done quietly against me will not stay hidden forever, and that you see every bit of it even when no one else does. Father, I think about who might be listening to this prayer with me right now, even though I can't see their faces. Maybe it's a single parent lying awake tonight, quietly doing the math on bills that never quite add up, wondering how they'll cover everything alone again this month. Lord, be their provision. Maybe it's a husband and wife who still love each other deeply, but feel like something invisible has been pulling at their marriage. and they can't tell if it's stress, exhaustion, or something they can't quite name. Lord, restore whatever peace has quietly gone missing between them. Maybe it's someone who left everything behind in another country to build a better life for the family they send money home to every single month. Tired from carrying 2 households on one set of shoulders, missing birthdays and holidays they can't afford to fly home for. Lord, open doors for them that no one can shut, and let their sacrifice not be in vain. Maybe it's a grandparent raising grandchildren they never expected to raise at this stage of life, or a caregiver quietly pouring out their strength for someone else day after day with no one checking in to ask how they are really doing. Lord, refill what has been poured out of them. And maybe it's a business owner who prays silently over every invoice, wondering if this will be the month everything finally falls apart. Father, go before them. Open financial doors that fear has kept shut and give them wisdom for whatever decision is sitting on their desk right now. Maybe it's a young person just starting out, feeling behind everyone their age and afraid to say so. Lord, give them patience with their own timeline. Maybe it's someone who lost a spouse and is learning how to build a life alone after years of building it with someone else. Lord, be near to them in a way only you can be. Maybe it's someone still healing from a betrayal they haven't told anyone about, wondering if trust is even possible again. Lord, restore what that betrayal took gently in its own time. And maybe it's someone who simply feels forgotten, who does everything right and still feels invisible to everyone around them. Father, let them feel tonight, even through a screen, that you have not forgotten them, that you know exactly where they are and exactly what they need. Whoever is listening, wherever they find themselves in what I just described, I believe you see them by name. Even if I never said it out loud, Lord, I want to bring my own finances before you honestly tonight, because I know this is an area where fear has quietly taken more ground than I've admitted, where there has been pressure that felt like it had no real explanation, bills arriving faster than income, opportunities that seemed to close right before they opened, doors that should have opened simply staying shut. I ask you to expose whatever has been quietly working against provision in my life, and I ask you, according to your will, to release favor, open doors, and financial peace in its place. I'm not asking for more than I need out of greed. I'm asking for enough that I can stop living in fear and start living in faith again. Break every cycle of debt and scarcity that has followed my family longer than it should have. Unlock resources, ideas, and opportunities I haven't even discovered yet. Where poverty has felt like an inheritance instead of a passing season, I ask you to interrupt that pattern starting with me and let it end here in this generation. Restore what delay has cost me, and give me the wisdom to steward whatever comes into my hands with integrity instead of fear. Let me become someone who gives freely, not because I have more than enough by the world's standards, but because I have finally stopped believing there isn't enough to go around. If you are building something, a small business, a side project, a dream you've been almost afraid to say out loud, I want to pray for you specifically right now. Father, activate the ideas that have been sitting quietly inside this person for far too long, waiting for the courage or the resources to become real. Where they faced rejection, closed doors, or a client who never called back, I ask you to restore their confidence and to send the right people across their path at the right time. Break any spirit of comparison that makes them feel like they're always behind everyone else. Let their work, however small it looks right now, become something that provides not just for themselves, but for the people they love. Unlock the breakthrough they've been quietly praying for in private when no one else was watching. Now stop, take a deep breath, and answer me honestly in your heart. Did you feel the atmosphere shifting while you were praying with me? Did you feel the weight lifting? Did you feel the air in your home changing? That warmth in your chest, that peace descending, that sense that something moved in the spiritual realm? What you felt is real, but I need to tell you the truth in love. What just happened was a cleansing, a powerful, deep, real cleansing. But cleansing is not shielding. Cleaning the house and leaving the doors wide open is an invitation for the enemy to return. And Jesus himself said it. When an unclean spirit leaves a place and finds it swept clean, empty, and unguarded, it comes back with 7 others worse than itself. I have seen it happen. Families who prayed with power felt the shift, and 3 weeks later were worse off than before. Not because the prayer didn't work, but because the shielding maintenance protocol was missing. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. When you step in, you are telling God, I accept the full covering. I will not leave my home or my life unprotected. Now, while the atmosphere is clean. Now, while the angels are still positioned. Father, cover my home the way homes were once covered in the story of the Passover, where nothing sent to bring death or destruction could cross the threshold. Let my children sleep peacefully tonight without nightmares, without an unexplained heaviness following them into their dreams. Let my marriage or the relationships closest to me become a place of safety rather than tension. Let anyone in my bloodline who has carried a pattern they never chose for themselves, addiction, poverty, fear, an illness that seems to repeat generation after generation, find that pattern interrupted starting with me. I release my family from carrying what was never truly theirs to carry. And I ask you to begin writing a different story over the generations that come after me. Tonight I declare, according to your word and your will, that my home is covered and that nothing sent against it will be able to stay. I declare that my family is covered and that whatever tried to divide us will lose its grip a little more each day. I declare that my finances are being restored one step at a time. Even if I can't see the whole picture yet, every door that fear has kept shut, I ask you to open. Every attack that came quietly while I wasn't watching, I ask you to expose and disarm. I declare that I am not who my worst season said I was, and that I am not what fear tried to convince me to believe. I'm not asking you for a life without struggle. I'm asking you to walk through the struggle with me and to make sure that nothing gets the final word over my life except you. Your word promises that when I make you my refuge, you satisfy me with a full life and let me see your salvation unfold before my own eyes. I hold on to that tonight, Father, not as a demand I'm making of you, but as a hope I'm placing gently into your hands. I ask for the years and the strength to see the prayers I'm praying tonight actually answered, to watch my children grow up whole, to see debts turn into testimonies I get to tell someone else one day, to see relationships I thought were permanently broken, find an unexpected kind of healing. I don't know everything you have planned for my life, but I trust that you are for me. And tonight that is enough to help me keep going. Clothe me, Lord, in a kind of quiet strength that doesn't depend on how I feel today. Let truth guard my thoughts so I'm not easily deceived by fear disguised as reality. Let a sense of what is right protect my decisions, even the small ones nobody else will ever see. Let faith stand between me and every dart the enemy throws. And let hope guard my mind against thoughts of failure, shame, or defeat. Let your word be the one voice I trust more than the tired one in my own head at the end of a hard day. Where there has been confusion, replace it with clarity. Where there has been despair, replace it with a quiet, steady hope that doesn't need to shout in order to be real. Let every word I speak from tonight forward carry a little more faith and a little less fear than it did yesterday. Father, I want to thank you in advance, even before I see the answer, because that's what faith actually looks like. Thank you for the doors that are already quietly opening, even though I can't see them yet. Thank you for the provision already being prepared for a need I haven't even voiced. Thank you for going ahead of me into tomorrow, into next week, into whatever this month still holds. I choose tonight to trust you with the timeline, even when I don't understand the waiting. Father, give me back the parts of my vision that fear quietly talked me out of. Maybe there was a dream I stopped saying out loud because it felt safer to expect less. Maybe there was a goal I shrank down until it stopped scaring me. And in doing that, I also stopped believing it could really happen. Tonight I ask you to restore what I lowered my expectations, to protect myself from disappointment. I don't want to live cautious out of fear. I want to live faithful out of trust. Renew whatever hope has quietly gone dim over the last few months, and remind me that you are not intimidated by how big or how impossible my situation looks tonight. What feels stuck to me is not stuck to you. What feels closed to me can be opened by you in a single moment, in a single conversation, in a single answered prayer I'm not even expecting yet. So Lord, as I begin to close this prayer, I ask you to seal everything we've spoken here tonight. Let peace begin to replace fear before this video even ends. Let hope begin to outweigh whatever number on a bank statement felt too heavy to look at this week. Let everyone praying with me right now feel even for a moment that they are not carrying this alone, that someone larger than the pressure they are under is already quietly moving on their behalf according to his will and his timing. May a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances guard every heart and mind watching tonight in Jesus' name. Go in peace tonight. May God bless your life powerfully, cover your home while you sleep, and go ahead of you into everything tomorrow holds. Amen. If this content has touched your heart and blessed your life, consider making an offering so we can continue bringing prayer and faith to even more people. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us keep this space alive and grow together. The link is in the description. Pray, consider, and may God multiply everything you sow.